Good morning, lovies. I wanted to share kind of my challenges with quitting smoking. I kind of went back through my journal to see and mark those places of like kind of the progress and the deprogress and the finally overcoming, and kind of what I went through and all of that. So I just kind of wanted to highlight in case anybody's having trouble or trying, or I applaud you. It's not easy. So I should say, when I was younger, when I was 19, I started smoking, and I smoked for 10 years until I was 29, and I quit like a month before my 30th birthday. And I've been smoke free for 13 years. And then with the stress of my business and everything else, I started vaping, and then I got back into smoking, and I even tried to like have the those fake cigarettes, the non-tobacco cigarettes that they use in movies and whatever, which helped for like a minute, but then it got me on regular cigarettes because it just not the same. And then then it kind of took over my life again, and it was so hard. Anyway, so this was back in June, beginning of June. I'm just going to read prompts from my journal and kind of go through this with you. So I had my last cigarette yesterday. Been a year-ish since I restarted. That's when I was vaping and started cigarettes. And then the cravings are stupid, but I know they will pass. Trying to stay busy or distracted to help overcome those moments. So when I first quit, I was house sitting for a lady and her great family. She had a really cool house, and a very big dog, Mastiff, I think. And they were gone for like a month, so I was working nearby, and so every night I would just go over and sleep over and do laundry, take care of, clean, whatever I had to do. And I was away from all of my things. I was away from all my triggers at home, all my ashtrays, all my stuff. I just got rid of all that stuff. And then she had a sewing machine, and she let me use it. So I learned how to sew to keep my hands busy and that like hand-mouth coordination thing, to get over that. And then I started exercising for the first time in my life, really, like more than once a month, on a regular routine. And it changed my life. So it was the best decision I ever made. And then all the stress from the last couple of years, it just caught up with me. And my dad was in and out of the hospital, and it was a lot to go through. So I picked it back up. I remember sitting on the lawn out in the hospital parking lot with my husband, and there was one weekend where I had to go down because I took him to an appointment or something, and his heart rate was elevated, and his heart was afibrillation, and they wanted to get him checked out, and so they had to keep him overnight, and it was so late by the time he got his room. I just decided to stay there instead of driving all the way home, because it was another hour and 20 minutes before I would be home, and it was already like 10 o'clock. So it was the first night I spent away, not at home, without my husband and my kitties, and that was really difficult. So I had some cigarettes then, and when he came over the next day, we went out to breakfast just to get a break, and I was sitting in the parking lot in the grass, and I pulled out my cigarettes, and I was like, please don't hate me. I just needed that at the moment. So he was concerned, but he loved me and loves me, and helps me kind of get through it. So anyway, this is kind of why it all started. But so when I first quit, yeah, I was trying to eat candy and doing it on willpower and trying new things and new habits and trying to just distract myself. But I wrote, looking forward to having less coughs, clearing my throat, lungs hurting at night. So when I would go to sleep, I would feel this in my chest, like this tightness, and just coughing. And this step, okay, last night, yeah, this step to be off them is necessary, and I'm getting older, almost 45, so it's a good step. Yeah, and then the next day I made it half a day without smoking. I think I made it to like 1 o'clock, and then I went out and bought more. So so I was trying to cut back and trying to do better is what I wrote. And then let's see, the next time I wrote, this was still in June, so I was back smoking regularly, and only about like half a pack, but still it's still consuming. So this was mid-June. Let's see. Oh, I remember. Okay, so there was one day I had to take my dad to luncheon with a group of friends that he had where he used to live, and I remember driving all the way out there, spending the whole afternoon, whatever, like fine. I was doing okay. I was trying to cut back so I'd only have like a 2 or 3 a day. And I remember I finally had a break. I went to the bathroom. I went outside to go check my phone, so I can have an excuse to go outside. And I had cigarettes with me, but I did not have a lighter, and I was so pissy about it. I was so angry at myself that I didn't have a freaking lighter, and my car doesn't have a cigarette burner thing, because the new cars don't. I don't know, mine didn't have one, so I'm glad that it didn't, but at the time I was really, really frustrated about it. So that day really stood out because I was like, oh, I know I've made it like 4 hours without one. Why can't I just like keep, not having it? So that was difficult. So I took him home, and I think I still smoked when I got home. And then, so getting to the end of June. Okay, so in July. Here we go. Okay, so early, like the first week of July, I expressed that I wanted to really try again. And the reasons I wanted to try at the time was the cost, because cigarettes are stupid expensive out here. I was spending like $80 a month on cigarettes, and there's money I could be doing, other things, other healthier things, and buying nail polish and doing craft stuff and whatever I wanted to do. Makeup from the dollar store, whatever. Just $80 is a lot of money. So, putting my health first, my clothes and hands smelling like smoke. When you walk by a smoker and you have that, you can smell it. I can smell it now, but I was like, I always think like, oh my gosh, I used to smell like that. Coughing, I would cough. I had to clear my throat like constantly. It was really annoying. But also making and prioritizing my time and making better decisions. So that was kind of my plan. That was what I would kind of fall back to and look at for reasons. And I had a therapy session about it, and my therapist said, you're putting yourself first as my priority, working to improve myself and my life for better. And this is also 3 months after closing my business. So it was kind of in the middle of this whole journey. And that was hard to let go. It still is a little bit, but okay. So okay, so I made, okay, so 2 days, made 2 days not smoking, had a brief conversation with my therapist and focused on putting myself first. I think I said this in one of my other videos, that I said I haven't put myself first in many years, and that's exhausting. I'm really ready for a change and open to loving myself again. So that was kind of the start of also doing the non-smoking, was choosing myself over this thing that had this control over me. So July 11th, day 3 not smoking. This morning is a little easier, but it still pops up in my mind. I think focusing on self-care is helping a lot with it. Pretty soon it will be out of my mind and replaced with healthier habits eventually. Now that's kind of at the point where I'm at now. It's been 5 months and it hardly crosses my mind. I remember the last time I really didn't even think about it. I think it was a couple of months ago. I stopped at a gas station to use the bathroom on my way out of town. And I went to the bathroom and then left. I didn't even like look behind the counter. I didn't get anything to drink. That was my thing, to like go to the gas station and buy like a big, a pack and then like a big peace tea or whatever, as a little treat for myself. But I just left and I didn't think about it, and I was like, wow, that didn't even cross my mind that day. So that was progress. Okay, and then let's see. Go to, all right, here we go. July 13th. Okay, so this is when I was kind of fluctuating back and forth. So I had one cigarette this morning and debating if I should just flush the rest. I don't want to get sucked back in and have it be a control over me anymore. So I'm going to do it. I know I'm stronger than this. Here I go. So I took my new pack, ran them in the sink underwater, and broke them and tossed them in the trash. No going back for me. I know I can do this, own my power, and love myself more than this. So it was that fight for control. Like the main thing I hated about smoking was like, gosh, if it only didn't give you cancer and mess up your body. Because I enjoyed it, and I could pick it up like that. But all this stuff, I hated the mind control of it, and not knowing when I can have another one, and scheduling out my day around them, and how many do I have left? Do I need to go get more? Can I take a break right now, or do I have to wait 2 hours before I can take one and go have a cigarette? It's just like that constant like battle. It was so demanding, and it took over my mind like way too much, and I did not like it. So that was something I was really fighting with. So Monday the 14th, still not smoking. I think I'm over the worst of it. Starting new habits, journaling more, tarot daily, setting my intentions, cleaning, organizing, and manifesting what I need. So, okay, so 15th, feeling more confident and comfortable in my skin, dressing for myself and feeling good. Oh, this was right before my Mr. and I celebrated our 4 years together of being married, although we've been together for 10. We've both made personal growth, and we have a lot to celebrate. I'm still smoke-free. I think about it less and less, which is actually a really nice change from the daily constant thoughts. Still doing tarot, getting in touch with my inner power, looking forward to what comes next. So it was kind of a slight little shift. I think that was like day 5. So we went out on Friday, had a great dinner up in Loveland. And I was just really proud of myself for making it, almost a week, and it was our anniversary, and I felt really good. So then, let's see. So now we're into July. see, when did I write the next one? I wrote little prompts in the margins so I could know where I was. Okay, here we go. Friday the 25th. Been a big hermit staying at home. This was before I came back into work. I was selling stuff on eBay at the time, and I still do, but it's not like I was trying to make it my full-time gig at the time. So I just do it casually now. And do self-care daily. I haven't seen my dad in about 2 weeks, but feeling in this funk just doesn't make me want to go out anywhere. Trying to be grateful for all I have and my health. I'm still not smoking. Finally broke the habit for good. I still randomly dream and think about it, but know I am on a better path without it constantly in my life anymore. It has opened me up for more time to myself, and that is more precious to me. So by not having that thought, like always every couple hours, whatever, like, do I need to have one? Can I wait? Do I need to go get some? Like, all that demand the control on my thinking. So by not smoking, it opened me up to more self-care time, and I really dove into that. And so I think that's why it's really gotten a solid foundation from me, because quitting smoking has also helped with that. Become really strong. And then okay, July 28th. Feel like I'm falling backwards. Super anxious today. Yeah, so for whatever reason, I had a really, really rough day that day. Feeling shaky, and had my first cigarette in about 3 weeks. I made it 3 weeks. Driving by every gas station and not going in. And I just broke down. I couldn't take it because I was so anxious. It's my fallback, coping mechanism, and I hate the control it has over me some days, but I couldn't help it today. I feel more lost than ever. I messaged oh, right, okay. I messaged my doctor about I started to take antidepressant and anti-anxiety medication. And I messaged them about the dosage, and I was only on like 0.22 milligrams, so pretty low. I feel like it hasn't helped all week. More anxious daily, and I don't want to leave the house or do anything. I feel stuck and not sure why I'm so wound up today. That's the part where I would get frozen, and then I couldn't leave the house, do errands, do anything. I would just sit in my little sanctuary room in here and try to do self-care, just watch movies, try to do stuff for me, and just kind of lock myself in so I wouldn't even be close to the doors that go outside to even trigger myself to have a cigarette. But that day I had to. So I deleted my social accounts, especially Facebook. It sucks a lot of my time and energy. At the time, I used to use it too much. And now I just kind of check in. All the minutes on it, I could have read all of my books in my to-be-read pile for by now. And that's probably true. So I'm taking a break, focusing on me and what I need right now. Today is day 2 of no coffee as well. When I had my business, I drank coffee like crazy, because I could just make whatever I wanted whenever I wanted to. But I thought, so I was just having black tea in the morning. I was hoping not having coffee would be an easier wake up and calm morning, but today it was just the opposite. I'm going to do my cards and seek guidance. So this day I was just drawing cards. I think I drew like 10 cards that day. So now we're on to the 30th of July. I had 4 cigarettes the last 2 days. After my anxiety was so bad, I broke down crying, still trying to quit and be smoke-free. So I was really struggling. It was still fighting. Like, I only had 4 cigarettes in 2 days. I mean, that was pretty good for me, but I was really just battling it. So I did some more cards. And then that same day, okay, so that morning after I did all my cards, and it was like cards like vision, get clear about what you want. A moon card was pause and rest, and then first quarter, it's time to commit. And then I drew the strength card, inner strength, compassion, gentle, control, patience, balance, action, and move forward. And I also drew the judgment card, which is an inner calling, rebirth, awakening, forgiveness, and an energy of regeneration. So this was kind of like a restart. And then I drew the Nine of Swords, which is basically liberate your mind and what's holding you back, which is my struggle then with smoking. So later that morning, I went to go see my dad, and I had one cigarette in the morning, and I went in the garage before I left. I would usually have a cigarette and then get in my car and go. So I had one cigarette this morning, and then when I got there to see him in the building, I used the bathroom, and I threw my pack of cigarettes in the trash, and it was still like 90% full. And I was determined to be smoke-free. So July 31st, day one again of not smoking, and feel like it will be easier this time. I downloaded some quit smoking apps on my phone and watched videos to help with the psychology behind why and how to cope as a non-smoker in any situation. So I feel more confident, and I don't really have cravings too much anymore. Now, this was just one day. So this was just helping by using those quit smoking apps. I think I'm almost 6 months in. I think it has like a progress tracker. So it tells you how many cigarettes you haven't smoked because you quit. And then how much money you've saved by not smoking, and how many days, and your health aspects and things that get better after you quit with your body. So that kind of helped me see the progress on how I was doing. I think now, I just checked the other day, and I'm like 137 days smoke free since I quit, and then I think I've saved. I think it was like 1,300 cigarettes I haven't smoked, which is a crazy number to think about. And all the money I would have spent on smoking and all of that. So, so that really helped me. Just a free quit smoking app on the App Store, and then watched videos to help with the psychology on YouTube. I found videos about the psychology behind smoking and how to cope as a non-smoker in any situation. So I watched a ton of videos online, and once I understood my triggers of smoking and how to handle those, I could start coping with things in different ways. And that really helped me think about cigarettes in a whole different manner. So just look up some videos on here, and yeah, it totally helped me, because like that day I was just like, my thinking had completely changed. It wasn't on willpower, it was on reason, really. And so yeah, just search the psychology behind quitting, and how to cope, and there's lots of good resources on here. Let's see. Okay, and then so later that day, feeling better about my decision to quit smoking now that I have been working on the mental aspects and changing how I work through issues and how I see myself as a non-smoker. And how I view cigarettes is totally different. Cravings aren't bad at all anymore. I dream occasionally about it, but every day I feel a little better physically and mentally. It's a nice freedom to have, and I don't want to forget that. So it was slowly like I was getting my sense of smell back, my sense of taste, not using too much salt, because when you smoke you lose the sodium, so things don't taste as salty as they normally do if you non-smoker. So I'd always put more salt on things. And as a chef, I just, messing up my taste buds is not something I was not proud of doing. And then my chest started to feel better when I'd sleep. I was starting to breathe easier. Food tasted better. My clothes didn't smell like smoke anymore. My hands didn't smell like smoke anymore. I cleaned my car. Threw away my ashtrays and whatever I was using at the house as like a trigger, a fallback or whatever. I threw everything away that I had. And then, let's see, and then I started working out in August. So I'm trying to make that a weekly routine. Okay, so August 6th, 8 days not smoking, smiley face. So I did a little thing for myself. I treated myself. I had this gift card from my wedding that I didn't use up, and I used it to buy 3 dresses for myself because I didn't use all of it for my wedding dress. I found 3 beautiful dresses and on clearance, and I just wear them to feel pretty. And I did it as a reward for making it 8 days without smoking. So let's see. And I believe that might be, I think that was kind of once I looked up information on the psychology behind quitting smoking. I mean, there's millions of videos, but well, hundreds, whatever. There's a lot. But once you start watching them and you understand your triggers and your coping mechanisms and why you're so drawn to it, once you understand that, it's like I didn't want them anymore. It completely went out of my mind, and it was so much easier later that day to just be like, no, I'm good. And then every time I would drive by a gas station, I'd be like, haha, fuck you, I'm not gonna buy cigarettes today. So that was my journey with smoking, and I am, and that was back in June when I started to struggle with all of that, and now it's almost, I think I'm 5.5 months in, and I don't even think about it. I mean, sometimes I do. I don't really dream about it anymore, but I'm beyond the point where I'll break down and need to go buy them. Even if I have a bad day, I remember my dad was recently in the hospital again, but here it's easier because it's like a block away from where he lives, so it's not like I have to drive an hour and a half to go get him and take him to the doctor, or meet him at the hospital where he lived at the time, and spend the time there and then drive all the way back. And it was just exhausting on top of having the business and everything. But later on, anyway, when he was out here, he had to go to the hospital for a couple of days. He had pneumonia, and he wasn't doing too good, but he gave him some medicine, and he turned around and went back home a couple days later. But it was the first time I remember leaving with my husband. We went to go visit him, and I was like, you know what? Usually this situation really ramps me up, and I didn't even want a cigarette from that situation, and that's a very stressful situation. So I knew I had it beat after that. So it was really just kept on focusing on my self-care, and just keep doing things that you love and focus on you, and know that you're better than your habits. I mean, bad habits. You're bigger and stronger than them. And for me, it was just the control that it would have over me that I wanted to quit. So that was kind of my journey, off and on. But I remember having that one cigarette in the morning before seeing my dad, and I broke down and I cried while I was smoking, and I had an emergency therapy session. I was like, I don't want this to be a control over me, you know, like I'm really trying and struggling, and it was rough. But and then I got there and I was like, you know what, no, that's it, I'm just gonna throw them in the trash, and they were gone. And it's not like I was, you know, gonna dig back through all the trash to get it, right? So yeah, I'm telling you, the psychology thing completely changed my mindset, and it was unbelievable how fast it changed. So if you are struggling, there are resources for, you know, here in Colorado we have a quit line, where you can talk to someone, you can get smoking aids to help you quit, like patches and gum and whatever, which I tried that, I think, the first round when I was younger, but the patches would irritate me and I would get reactions from them, and the gum just was gross. So I had to do it, you know, cold turkey kind of. But watching the videos and getting support, and seeing other people like go through the situation and get help, and learn why you're doing it. Once you face it, then it's just so much easier to be like, okay, I don't need it. So I know, I hope this video helped you. I kind of wanted to share that because that was such a big part of my life for one time. Well, for a decade it was, and then I got back into it, and you know, now I'm back out of it, thankfully. But I think just on that progress, you know, the struggles and all of that, you just gotta keep trying, right? You just can't give up. Like, and I would feel so bad when I would go back and smoke, because I was like, oh, and then I think, oh, I can cut back, and then no, I just go back into my normal habits again, right? So it's really like, you have to like be ready to do it, and you can do it. And if you have, I'm proud of you. If you're trying, I'm proud of you. If you're struggling, I'm proud of you. You know, we're all in this together. This crazy human experience. So, yeah. So, well, I just hit 32 minutes. Okay. I'm going to cut this video because I could just keep talking. So, I will see you tomorrow, lovies. Have a great day, and I love you.